freelances. So United and Enyimba of Aba. She stays in Isolo in Lagos State. On Twitter, she is known as at Nelly Silva. On Instagram, she is at Mercy Blaze 69. Good evening, Mercy. So good to have you back.
Good evening from me.
Yeah. Why are you laughing? You want me to go to WhatsApp? It's not going to happen. Okay. So, nice having you. Her opponent, Olusegun Emmanuel Adedeji, himself a sport analyst and salaried worker. He supports Arsenal and Enyimba. He lives somewhere in Abijo, in Ibejuleki, Lagos, Nigeria. He is known on Twitter as at Enyimba Boy 3. At Enyimba Boy 3. On Instagram, he is I am Shegsy99. Shegsy. I am SHEGSY 99. Olusegun, so good to have you join us.
For me, it's a pleasure being here.
All right. Are you ready to go, both of you?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
all right. So you can follow us up on social media. On Facebook, it's Nigeria Info 993. Our live stream is there. You can see it now. The voting portal will soon be up. On that live stream, you will see their names. You will see Mercy and you will see Segun or Olusegun, whichever one you see is between Mercy and Segun. You will see the topic and their positions. Vote for either of them. On Facebook, we've embedded our YouTube live stream there as one of our most recent tweets. You'll see it. But pinned to the top is the voting tweet. Okay? You will see Mercy and Segun. Vote for either of them. Here is the debate topic. It comes closer home to Africa. Has the change in the AFCON calendar from early to mid-year significantly benefited African players? The change in the AFCON calendar from early, which used to be January, to mid-year for the AFCON tournament, has it significantly benefited African players? We put this to a poll. Out came yes as the answer for Segun. Mercy has to defend her position of no. It has not significantly benefited African players. Now listen to the language. Has it significantly benefited African players? Olusegun, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
You say yes. But before you go, Mercy says no. And she will have a full minute to tell us why she thinks the AFCON calendar's change from early in the year to mid-year has not significantly benefited African players. Remember, their arguments do not necessarily represent their own personal opinion. They picked their positions blindly and they have to defend it whether they believe it or not. You too, when you vote, do not vote based on your personal opinion. Vote based on their performance. Even if you do not agree with their position. But if the performance impresses you, please go ahead and vote. Mercy, you have 1 minute to convince us that the change in the AFCON calendar for the tournament from early to mid-year has not significantly benefited African players. Your time starts now.
Jane Austen said in her book that too many cooks spoils the broth. Now, there are a series of interpretations to that quote, but the one that resonates with me on this topic is that too many ideas on the project can potentially harm it if it's not properly implemented. So, on the 20th of July 2017, CAF announced a series of changes to the African Cup of Nations tournament. One of which is expanding the team to 24, which I was here to argue last week, and I gave my heart to it because I supported the argument. Well, the other one is moving the competition from January, February to June, July. I'm totally against this one, and I'm here to tell you why.
All right. I'm sure you'll get plenty of time to tell us. You spared us 15 seconds of your time. Segun believes, well, it is beneficial that change from early in the year to middle of the year has significantly benefited African players. Segun, you have 1 minute to tell us why you think so. It starts now.
Thank you, Femi. The African players will benefit in the change of this calendar year for the AFCON. In time of welfare, their future and in the future of some African players who will move to Europe, probably who want to play in Europe. And also, it will bring more recognition to these African players. And also the awards. Yes, the awards will be well pronounced. So all these things are what are categorically stated that yes, the African players will do what will benefit more from this changing of the calendar year in the AFCON.
Thank you very much. You've saved us half the time. We appreciate it. We'll take it. It's good gifts. Now, 5 minutes. You have that much time to argue this matter out amongst yourselves. Once again, we'll implore you, please vote for them on social media, on Facebook. That's Nigeria Info 993. That's our official Facebook page, Nigeria Info 993. The live stream is there. You can watch them. You can watch all of us in the live studio here. Drop your comment. We will read some of those comments. Okay, would appreciate it. But most importantly, vote for either Mercy or Segun, depending on their performance. On Twitter, it's at Nigeria Info FM. We've embedded our YouTube live stream on our Twitter handle. You'll see it there. But very importantly, you will see the tweet through which you can vote pinned to the top of our Facebook profile. Once again, at Nigeria Info FM. Lady and gentlemen, your 5 minutes begin now.
Clash of I have 6 reasons why I'm arguing against this topic. One of which is clash of competitions. In the just concluded AFCON, we had series of competitions like the Gold Cup, we had the Copa America, and most importantly, we had the FIFA Women World Cup. And there were clashes. Of which point in case was when Nigeria and Cameroon played on the same day, we had Nigeria and France in the female World Cup, and many of us, especially me, I was torn between which match exactly to watch. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case
Mercy, let me tell you something.
That wasn't the case when AFCON was held in January,
Changing of calendar year,
that wasn't the case
we give
when
some
it
of
was
these African players to participate in their club competition fully from the beginning to the end. You understand? So at the end of it, you have the time to do what? To participate in the AFCON. At the end of the day,
a friend told me that he preferred to watch the female World Cup because he was actually more excited than AFCON.
Do you know some of these African players,
that would have been the case if the AFCON was still in January.
When negotiating their contract,
now
you understand?
I'll go to my second
the January
point.
And February
is weather condition.
You understand? This club
all right. Please, we would like you to make your points clearly. We'd like to hear you.
My second point is the weather condition.
In the case of Liverpool,
the weather condition in Africa is not favorable.
You understand? If this gate we are not shifted,
it's not like
it will cost Liverpool a lot. The Champions League.
It's obtainable in Europe.
It also cost Liverpool for challenging the title to the end.
The winter in South Africa is between June and August. The winter in South Africa is between June and August.
Africa players benefit a lot. You understand?
It is not
half time
in June. The maximum daytime. The maximum daytime temperature is 40 degrees. And we saw what happened to Samuel Kalu. He fainted.
And then do you know there is a water break? There is a water break.
Why is that water break? It's because of the humidity. It's because the temperature was very high.
The thing is that they have to switch it just to favor.
And we had instances where players were perspiring.
Do you know most of this club complain a lot about these African players? You understand?
We had instances where players were perspiring
injuries. You understand? If these players have injuries,
would like to hear you.
It will affect this club, and that's why they shifted it to the mid-year so that every other African players will participate fully in this competition. At the end of the day, you have time to rest. You understand? In the case of Sadio Mane and other players, Gad Mahrez, you understand? The club, we said, okay, they'll be scared of injuries.
My third point to back up my argument is fatigue. Most of these players come back from a grueling European competition.
With this changing of calendar,
very, very tired. They come back very, very lethargic.
The words of this African player will be well pronounced.
Exhausted. We saw how the likes of Salah underperformed.
Do you know?
We did not see any
due to the changing of this calendar year, some African players have moved to a bigger club.
Mane scored some couple of goals, but he wasn't at his best.
He moved from Empoli to AC Milan
as well.
Our own John Mikel Obi also doing this AFCON, the changing of the year, he moved from one club to another.
My fourth point is loss of steam. In January, February, these players are the peak of their powers.
They are the peak of their powers. And then the club will allow them leave for their club and go and have injuries.
They are in a very competitive
mood. Do you know if these players to leave for their club,
that's not the case in January.
They won't focus on this tournament. There will be no focus on this tournament. They won't focus on this tournament. But after the mid, but during the mid-year, you understand, you play very well for your club. Why are you laughing? You're just laughing.
My fifth reason is that these changes did not.
That's what I said. It also give him for some African players. You understand? Who want to play in Europe?
We know the local league is not consistent enough.
The player will not be scared that okay, I'm going for AFCON, and then yes, if I got injured, my club will try and sanction me. No, after the mid-year, you go and play your football, and then you go for a break.
My sixth and final reason is that the players risk losing their places in their respective clubs because they did not have.
Who told you after the mid-year?
They did not have enough.
Who told you after the mid-year? After the mid-year,
if you're not
the club
Messi,
will lose.
If you're not Messi,
come again with another fact.
If you're not Ronaldo, you can't walk straight into your club. But these other players, they will always
the January and the February period of the AFCON. The club will be scared.
They not have enough time to train. They don't have time for preseason. They don't have time to impress their clubs and their coaches.
After the league, you have to rest for 1 or 2 weeks and you join up with your national team.
To summarize this,
you don't have anything to say again.
To summarize this, I can give you many reasons why.
You haven't given me many reasons. I gave you my point. You haven't shouted many reasons.
I've given you 6 solid points and
6 solid points, and I gave you my point to back it off.
Oh my goodness.
Are you people tired? God, let me ask. This is the funniest. Good, they are laughing at yourself. Do you need the 1 more? Do you need? It looks like you don't need the 1 minute. People have harassed each other.
Mercy, that's what I said. This change of calendar year, you understand? It will give.
Hold on, time has finished. Don't worry. You have 1 minute. Do you want the 1 minute?
Yes, I need the 1 minute.
You need the 1 minute. Okay.
Oh, never don't take life.
You people should consider marrying each other.
I didn't get there. That's something personal. I think something
they like each other too much. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for the debate. It's pretty interesting. You can vote now if you've made up your mind on Facebook, Nigeria Info 993. Vote either Messi or Olusegun. Okay. On Twitter at Nigeria Info FM, the live stream is also there. We are live streaming on both portals. Okay. So on Facebook, you'll see the live stream on our page, Nigeria Info 993. You'll see their names. Click on any of the names on the live stream. On Twitter, their names are not on the live stream. Okay, you will have to go back to our Twitter profile and look for the tweet pinned to the top. That's where you will see Messi or Olusegun. Has the change in the AFCON calendar significantly benefited African players? Messi says no. Olusegun says yes. Please remember, when you vote, don't vote based on your personal opinion, but on the strength of the argument. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with Messi. You are contestant 1. You're going to get 1 minute. So you said you wanted to summarize. So perhaps take your point home to tell us why you are so convinced that the change in the AFCON calendar has not significantly benefited African players. Your 1 minute starts now.
The African Cup of Nations competition was established at the high noon of decolonization in the mid-20th century with Pan-African ideals of unity, solidarity, and most importantly, our unique identity. By moving this competition from January, February to June, July, we are moving away from the aspirations of the visionary leaders who created this tournament, and taking into cognizance that the very first edition was held on the 10th of February to the 15th of February 1957. Thank you.
All right, thank you very, very much. You saved us quite some time. Segun, your final minute to counter her argument and tell us why you feel that the change in calendar significantly benefits African players. Your minute starts now.
Yeah, it's going to benefit African players in time of their welfare, yes, their future, and then some other African players who want to do what? Play in some part of Europe. You and I agree that yes, the Europe League is one of the best league in the world. And then in time of the awards, their recognition, there will be more recognition for these African players. The awards also will be well pronounced, their contract. Do you know that during the AFCON, you understand, the January and the February month, you understand, some clubs find it difficult to release their players. Just because of what? Injuries. And then at the mid-year calendar, you understand, there will be enough time for these guys to what? After playing from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, to do what? To relax and enjoy yourself for maybe like 1 or 2 weeks and join up with the national team to do what? To play in the Nations Cup. So with this, African players will benefit a lot in time of the contracts and then the welfare packages and everything. Their contract will be well pronounced. We've seen players who have moved, who have done well in this AFCON. The likes of the MVP, Benatia, who moved from Empoli to AC Milan.
All right, thank you very much. So we've come to the end of the debate. Once again, you can go and vote on our social media platforms for either Mercy or Segun. You see it there on Facebook, Nigeria Info 993. That's our page. You see the live stream. You will vote on the live stream. You can't miss it. On Twitter, you see the live stream, but you move away from the live stream to vote. Go to the top of our Twitter profile at Nigeria Info FM, and you will see the tweet that carries the opinion poll where you can vote, Segun or Mercy. It's up to you. First up, though, we'll go to the phone votes. Our numbers are 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. We're looking for a maximum of 5 votes. Whoever gets the first 3 takes it. 20 marks are at stake via the phone lines. Who will take them? Hello, good evening.
Amy and the gang.
How are you doing?
The mess force look like say this studio. Man, original Mr. Lieutenant.
Go ahead.
National Market, Lagos, Nigeria.
Go ahead.
How are you, my brother?
I did fine like Ali.
Okay, so how do you vote?
Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead, Uche now.
I go for the lady. You know, the girl, your mouth today like parrot. Hey, we're not supposed to marry your husband and wife.
Who are two?
Segun and Mercy.
All right. Okay, thank you very much.
Solve your something.
We appreciate it. Hi there. Talk to us.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, this is I'm calling from Pedro.
All right. So how do you vote?
I think the argument sounds like a domestic fight. Like husband and wife fighting the other.
Domestic dispute.
And again, it's more like I couldn't really fathom, as in, we are not hearing the key points. We are just trying to, like, okay, the one person didn't want the other to overpower them or something. So, but I'll still give it to Mercy though, because she could at least analyze some of her points. So I think Segun should have done the same. Mercy has it.
All right, thank you very much. Voter number 3. How are you doing? Let's meet you. How do you vote?
Yeah, good evening, Sapemi. My name is Henry from Surulere.
Welcome, Henry. Yeah,
I'll go with the guy because not because of my own opinion, but because of the point. You know, sometimes the argument is not always about shouting, but the point the key points that the guy has been able to, bring out. Yeah, hasn't convinced me to vote for him. So I'll go for the guy.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Hi there.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, thank you. You guys are doing a great job there.
Thank you very much. Let's meet you.
Yeah. You see, in my own personal opinion, I would have said, it's better that the tournament was moved. But by the time I listened to Mercy, she brought out the points one by one. At least she named about 6 points. And I think all Shegu did was to, try to shout her down. So for me, I go for Mercy. I think she did her research and she actually knew what she was talking about.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. That will end the votes via the phone lines, and Mercy will take it 3 votes to 1, effectively taking all 20 points. And 20 points, 20 marks available via the phone lines. So let's see how it goes. We'll go back to social media. A quick reminder, the portal is still open. You can vote on Facebook and on Twitter. On Facebook, it is Nigeria Info 993. That's our official page, Nigeria Info 993. Vote on the live stream. You can see us in the studio. On Twitter, it is at Nigeria Info FM. Search for the tweet at the top of our profile. We've pinned it there. That's where you vote either Mercy or Shegun. You'll see the topic there just as well. Let's come to the panel. The panel for this second debate, I didn't announce at the start, is made up of Lizzie, Sarafina, and Buchi. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I start first?
Yes, you could go ahead and start.
I think from the last time Shegu was here, I think he was waiting for Mercy, and I think at home too, Mercy was waiting for Shegu, because it was kind of obvious that I don't know whether Shegu collect your girlfriend or something. I don't know whether something was definitely wrong. But I like it because the more the energy, the more the vibe. But it was more of argue among your business kind of stuff. I think Mercy mind was already made up that she's not really going to come and argue with Shegu. She was just going to come and make a point and chill. For one, she never countered Shegu. Shegu was actually the one counter. When Shegu counter, she'll just keep quiet and chill. Then she goes back and start making a point, which is good. But let's start with introduction. Shegu, you mentioned recognition and welfare in your introduction. I was like kind of thinking recognition. We need to recognize African players by moving the competition. Then you mentioned welfare. I was kind of confused your introduction though. And Mercy too, I got confused in your introduction too because I thought like you read too much. You didn't really elaborate on your point. You just read your points, not elaborating on the point. It's good, Cha, but I think I needed to like a good definition of your points. You didn't elaborate on it. I think the argument started properly when you guys started chilling, and I was writing the points. I like your point. We started a clash of competition. That's a vital point. I remember the Women's World Cup and but it's not the first time it's happening though. Normally clashes every year, especially in Africa. But that was a good point. You mentioned weather conditions. That was a legit point. Especially in the country, which is good. Shege, then I was waiting for you to mention. You mentioned it about players participating full time, so they get to focus on it and don't really go back to their different clubs. And you mentioned scouting, which is very, very important, right there. That you can easily scout players when scouts are working anywhere they are working. You mentioned fatigue, lose their place, and some other stuff. It's good. And then I was jejely waiting for you to end it again. And then again, I got confused again. You also came out and you read your points again. You didn't really elaborate on it. And I was like, quoting philosophers, I was like, Laba, you too, the same point. You made one point all over and all over again. I think the argument was good, but it was like Papa Ikechi and Mama Ikechi arguing back then. But I like the vibe. I like energy. But I think the energy didn't really come so good. There was some times where the noise was kind of too much. But in terms of making points, in terms of focusing on what you want to do, in terms of having a game plan, which is very important for me, I'm going to go with Mercy. I think she had a game plan. She just came in to like make her points and go. But please, next time, Mercy, I like arguments, please. argue with him. I get it. I don't know what is something wrong with both of you, but just argue with him and make point. I think Mercy made better and legit points than Segun.
All right, who wants to go next?
Femi, let me go. First of all, I would say kudos, but while the argument was going on, I was looking at Lizzie's face.
Will you people stop looking at my face in this studio?
Like, what is wrong with all these people? But the thing is, when Mercy pointed out something, talking about clash of competition, I expected Shegu to counter that, because when you say lack of clash of competition, during that January-February period, we still have the league going on, the various leagues at that point. So if you're talking about clash of competition, even if it's played in January-February, there will still be clash of competition. And also, he talked about weather condition, which he countered and said there's this water break, which is, to me, is fair enough, because at some point you have to stop and give them water. Then she talked about fatigue. Now, this is what I expected Shegu to do. When she said fatigue, that if it's moved to June, July, that because of fatigue and the rest of it, you seem to have forgotten that even if it is still played during January, February, these players still get to play week in, week out for their various clubs. So the case of fatigue does not even hold water at that point. So it all boils down to Shegu being able to counter the points that Mercy was actually dishing out to him, but he could not do that. To an extent, I just looked at Shegu and it was like he was just helpless. He couldn't help himself. But it's not like Mercy did so well, although kudos to her. But the thing is, Shegu did not have enough points to counter whatever point that Mercy was dishing at that point, and that is the reason why for me tonight is a whitewash for her, because she did everything well and there was no point to counter what she was saying. So I'll stick with Mercy.
All right, Lizzie.
Okay. I'm going to tell you who I'm voting first before I tell you why I'm voting, okay? Because, okay, I'm going to vote for Shegun. And this is why I'm going to vote for Shegun, right? Mercy had 1 minute. You have 1 minute to introduce. You have the topic. You have 1 minute to give us those key points. Like, this is it, this is what, right? You have counter. Now, when you have that counterpart, it's the time that you tell yourself, if I'm arguing from this other person's side, what are the things I'm most likely to say? And if I say this, what are the points that will counter it, right? That is why it's counter. You're countering what the other person is saying. And then the 1 minute that you get after everything is over is for you. You've heard the person have said everything that they came to say. They have 1 minute, they've countered you. So you have that your final minute. It's like you're in a court of law, right? That is the 1 minute that your jury will look at or whatever. As the lawyer, you close and smack down.
Closing arguments.
The closing argument. I'm going to start with Mercy. Mercy did the same thing she did last week. She came in and she didn't say anything in the 1 minute. She said AFCON was introduced in this. She quoted Jane Austen and all of that. Now, during the counter, she came with 6 points, right? She wasn't doing counter like everybody has mentioned. And it wasn't just the fact that, yeah, it's good you came with points, but it's not just what you have, it's what you do with it, right? There was so much you could do with the points that you came with. You didn't do it. You didn't explore it. You didn't go deep into it. Now, the final 1 minute that you have, you came and you told us when AFCON, the founding fathers of AFCON, is this relevant to the argument? Is this necessary? Should this be here? Right? How does this improve what I'm saying? It doesn't do anything for your argument, that final last minute. And it's like, okay, this is it, this is that, and there is nothing improving or growing on it. Yes, the fact that you came with those 6 points, you brought in angles and areas and all of that, you didn't explore on it. That is why I feel that, okay, you didn't really do enough with it. You did like the barest. Okay, last time you did the same introduction pattern and end and pattern. That is the point. Why is this counter here? Why do I have 1 minute before and why do I have 1 minute after? It's necessary. And for Shegu, yes, your first introduction was like, okay, what's it about? You mentioned 2 things and it was like Buchi said, it was like, why are you mentioning this and why is it necessary? And I expected you during the counter, you did not go back to that point and like evolve on it. And then again, like Buchi said, you had 1 point and you were going on and on and it. But in your argument, I felt that you had like good moments, right? That Mercy said something. It wasn't like very big, but then you were able to come back with some things to like counter her back when she gave some of her points in the sense of like when Sarafina mentioned, you mentioning the water break and some other things. But then again, there were some other points that you could have explored. But this is the topic that I'm very passionate about. Sitting down on both angles, I could like go all day about it. You could have done more. Then in your closing argument, that was the point. You just elaborated on what you were saying and tried to talk about it. So I felt that okay, on the point I give that to you. You were still on topic, and if I'm going to ask myself, the point that you gave in your final minutes, was this relevant? It was all about relevance. So that's why I'm going to give you my point. Okay, it's not just coming with a game plan, it's about the relevance and why is this necessary to my argument? Should I be saying this at this point?
All right, thank you very much. It's done both on the panel and the phone call, the audience vote via the phone call. Both of those votes will go Mercy's way by 2 votes to 1 and 3 votes to 1 for the audience vote. Let's go to social media and see what we have.
Let's start from Twitter. The votes already are in right there, but let's just take 1 or 2 comments on the thread right there. This one is coming from Wisdom. He says, Mercy all the way. Idowu Habibu Olaniwaju says, Segun nailed it. Ahaba Payo says, Segun is really making points. 1 to Temple says, good evening, guys. I think it's because Laba. Slim Mama says, both of them did not make their points clear. They were just shouting. Tommy Setona says, oh my God, Mexi facts and points, you are lame. How can you say a player will choose his place on the club, blah, blah, blah. What a funny counter. It's actually very, very funny. Harrison, I was just dancing during this debate because it was more than a song than a counter. I vote for the lady. Bolaji Ibrahim says, Messi comes up with points, but Shego is looking for counter. Really funny show this night. King of the North says, too rowdy argument, but I still yes Shego. One more. This one don't use that on. Ibramotic says Shego all the way. Remember 3 African players won the golden boot in England. But for the final vote, Femi, Shego takes Twitter with 78% of the votes. Laba to Messi 22%. So Shego takes Twitter. That was a whitewash on Twitter. The votes are in already on Facebook also. Taking some comments. Let's start from this crash. This one says, Maryhan says, Segun even planned this counter. I don't think so. Say Segun, you know, plan counter. Faith says, both of them were just making noise. I couldn't even hear any points. Onome says, Segun is yes for me. Charles Okeke says, Messi all the way. Kelvin said, voting for Segun. Akitayo says, Messi is not paying attention to the guy's point. Akintayo Akiyemi said, she just heard to our point talking about Messi. Donald says, Messi all the way. She managed little resources and she was judiciously. What is judiciously? Judy what? Emeka King says, Messi gathered perfect facts. Give it to her. Wale says, a beautiful one, Messi. Kim says, Olusegun is valid points. I vote for him. Femi, the final vote is actually very, very close on Facebook. But Segun still take Facebook, small margin, 52%, while Messi on 48%. So Femi, Segun takes both Facebook and Twitter.
All right, so the decision is made to that effect. And it's pretty marginal, but yeah, on the surface it looks like it. But considering the scoring pattern, you can understand how this has swung. So Segun took Facebook, Segun took Twitter, Messi took the phone calls, and of course the panel. In the end, there is only one outcome as to that. The available votes, the majority of it clearly goes to Messi. A fantastic job, the two of you. Yes, there is room for improvement. There is room for improvement. One of, for me, I think Messi's biggest undoing was the fact that she didn't pay enough attention to what Segun was saying. She was she really wanted to make her point. And again, it's a strategy that has worked for her. She was able to deliver her points, and we knew her points. And there's a quality of speech that is important. They say main points made to stand out. And I think at the end of the day, the reason why Mercy would have won this contest is that she found a way to make her main points stand out. Most people will remember that she made 6 points. 6 points. Now, not many people will remember how many points Segun made. Did Segun make 2 points or 3? You cannot say. Yes, there were flawed analogies in the conversations. Mercy, in truth, did not counter anything Segun said. Segun countered a few, let a few go. For instance, when Mercy mentioned the fact that they could lose their place in their team in the coming season, somebody thought it was a very lame argument. I don't think it's lame. What she was trying to say is that it means they may be too tired to be a part of their team's pre-season preparation. And for many of these teams, if you are not part of pre-season, unless you are exceptional, like she did mention Messi, unless you are a Messi, you have to be a part of the pre-season. If you're an African player and you go to the Nations Cup and you come back tired and you cannot be a part of your team's pre-season, that could spell trouble for you. So that was an argument to be made, and Segun's counter would obviously then be, but how is it any better that in January, when the teams are facing the home run, that is when you want to run off to Africa to go and play one tournament that your team paying your salaries do not care about, and that might influence whether or not they sign African players. Pay attention to the conversation. It's about the player. Is it better for the player? Not so much about the team or the national team. Significantly, is it better for the player? Does it favor the player? And there could be arguments made on both sides. You did the best you could. For the sake of time, we will let it go. So congratulations, Mercy. You've won this debate, and you will progress automatically. You are going to choose where or when you'll have your next battle. I see your shoulders drop. You're not happy with what you've picked. So tell me, what is it you've picked?
What's with me on Tuesdays these days?
You picked another Tuesday. Yeah. Were you born on the Tuesday?
I have no idea. I don't know. So 20th of August.
20th of August.
Number 2.
Tuesday, 20th of August. You are number 2. So I'll just punch Mercy in there. You will go up against whoever is number 3 on the 20th of August. Okay? Which will effectively be next Tuesday. Okay? So congratulations yet again. Thank you very much. We'll take one quick break while we implore that you stay in your position because we are live streaming. When we come back, we'll make a decision between Segun and, of course, Dami. One of them will go tonight. We'll be back right after this break.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, my people? This is Two-Face Idibia, and you're listening to Femi and the Gang on Nigeria Info FM. One love, man.
Counter! Counter!
So at last we get to that part where we make a decision. There are two gentlemen, both potentially up for eviction tonight. One of them will be sent home. Their battle will end tonight. It's the decision of the panel as to who that individual will be. Dami lost the first battle. Segun lost the second. And hard as it is, well, the decision has got to be made. So, ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to make the decision. For all four judges followed all two debates. Sarafina missed the first one because she was busy working on the back end, so she cannot quite justifiably compare both performances. But Biola, Lizzie, Sylvia, and Buchi, you all follow through. So it'll be interesting to see what decisions you make. Who wants to go first?
I hate to go first. Okay, but I think Mercy and Segun.
Could you please hug your mic?
Okay, I think Mercy and Segun had a fiercer battle. Really, when it came to Segun and Dami, it was very easy really to pick. So I'm going with Segun. I'm saying with Segun tonight.
You're going with Segun?
Yes.
All right. Okay, who wants to go next?
I voted for Segun when he had his battle with Mercy, because for me, I always believe in that vote of confidence thing. Like, okay, because I believe that he could have done better, but he has like potential and all of that. So based on that, hoping that he's going to come next time, if he makes it through and do better, like actually do better and kill it, I'm going to vote for Segun to stay.
Segun. All right. So, Sylvia, yeah, you saw the debate and the argument. How do you vote?
Should I go with the crowd? Not really.
Go with your mind.
I'll go with my mind, and I'll go with what I know.
You remember the two debates
yes,
quite
and,
clearly.
For me personally, I felt like, just as many contributors have said, Mercy and Segun, right? I didn't really get points from their arguments, right? Contrary to what I got from Damis, yes, he was not the best against Segun, the other Segun, when they debated initially. But at the end of the day, I didn't really get much from the second Segun. Yeah. The second Segun from his arguments. I feel like Dami at the end of the day made more points and communicated more for me than Segun. So I'll go for Dami.
All right. So Dami will take yours. Buchi, what do you make of it?
So that's the one. Femi, I'm going to base my calling on what I've been seeing. I think I've seen these guys counter for like three different times, so not just today. I think Femi Segun first battle was against Bola, if I'm not wrong. That was one of, they were cheating, they were not arguing that day. I think Segun came again against one other guy like that, and he did well. Something like that. I think I saw him, and he did well also. Dami, I was here with Dami too. Dami don't try. I think he's killed. Should be Dami come out and Femi and one other guy like that. So I think he and also Dami has been both of them has been hustling. These guys are the definition of hustlers. Because it has not really been an easy patch for them, but they keep on trying, which is what I love. They try. I believe my organ now. I have to elaborate. It's not easy, but I'm going to be basing it on futuristic purposes. What maybe any of them feel blow, then go blow. It's a matter of time when they go blow reach, but everybody go blow.
Hey.
It's difficult though. Looking at the argument today, I think Dami was not really that convincing for me. I think Dami didn't prepare so well. I think Rabi would have done well. Shegu had a lot of points to make, but didn't make the point at all. I think he was focused more on the countering. He didn't have a game plan. Tubutu Women's Calabar, Malapu, not that one. But I'm going to go with Dami. I think Dami can actually do better with time. Both of them have issues. The issues they have right now is when it comes to like some words they pronounce at times and some other stuff.
Okay, now
but
we have a problem.
But I will go with
Because
Dami.
we need a
I will go with Dami. I think the boss have to make a decision here, so it's coming to you.
All right. Okay. I'll make my decision.
Yep.
And this will be the basis for my decision.
Yes.
So I've seen these two individuals time and time again. Tonight, they were below par because I've seen them do better. Dami has been evicted before, and he came back when there was an opening, when somebody pulled out due to reasons beyond their control. Segun has soldiered on largely. I remember his last battle. Who were you up against on that occasion? The last one that you were here.
You had to pick like this.
With Daniel.
Oh, Daniel.
Daniel.
Oh, not
was
true.
Daniel.
Because
he
right.
and Daniel. I applauded him because he came up with a strategy that totally put Daniel off his game. I guess Mercy learned from that battle and decided on a strategy to stop him, and it worked. I will make my decision on the strength of what I see as all things said is commitment and dedication. Who may speak better English? I would go for Dami, even though I don't understand Dami sometimes. I really do not.
That's the simple truth.
I don't know whether it's the nature of the debate. So I have a recording on my phone of Dami, like an audition where he's presenting a program, and I was quite impressed. But I complained about the same thing the last time here, and it's not the same person. When he comes here and begins to debate, it sounds like a bushman, which I understand that an argument can do to you, especially when you're arguing about football. I think he's got potential. I think he will grow. I think he can if he puts in the work. There's opportunity there. However, Segun, as far as I'm concerned, has been about the most committed of all these contestants. He has arrived earlier than anyone since the auditions. Earlier than anyone, as I remember. He comes here, he's dedicated, he's focused. I've seen him deploy strategies to get him, I've seen Segun come make his point in English and decide to prosecute the debate in Pidgin. Whatever it will take. And
This one doesn't work.
yeah, it didn't work today, but I think on the strength of what I have seen, I think on this battle itself, it may not be basically on who may make the better broadcaster tomorrow, but on the strength of who has a better chance to soldier on in this contest. I think it is Segun. When I saw Dami against Bolaji, I think it was Bolaji. Bolaji, yes? Was Bolaji the last one? Yes. Dami versus Sadiq. For me, it was a shame that Sadiq was eliminated, because on that day, I thought Sadiq was better, even if only slightly.
And
I almost vetoed it. He escaped it. Then he's not going to escape it tonight. So I will vote Segun, because Segun leaves a good memory of commitment. And I believe that it doesn't matter how good you are, if you are committed, things can happen for you. If you are committed, even if you are not the best in the world, you might go to some distance. On the strength of commitment, I would have voted for Dami if Dami had done enough. But I don't think Dami prepared for this contest. That was my first take from his battle against Segun. He wasn't really prepared. Yes, he decided on a few points, but I didn't think he poured his heart into it. If he did, it would have been memorable. We wouldn't even be having this argument. For the fact that he made us have this argument, I would vote to keep Segun in the contest. I'll vote to keep Segun.
He looks so relieved.
Oh, you won't cry?
And more so, Dami is my man. There's somewhere else. Dami has something else working for him.
Yeah, he's a photographer.
No, it's more than that. Dami is a fired contestant. So it's not the end for him. We will see again. That's not why I voted him out, but there is a place to go. Segun, congratulations. You survived, but only just. I would expect you to perform better next time.
The thing about commitment is that even we are
trouble now. You want job on? I want job on.
No, I just have to say something.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just small. Just small.
Even when I'm working, I've always been committed. I like it's a matter of fact. It's a matter of fact because I'll always be committed. I think
You're putting pressure on yourself.
You see?
No,
this is the first time that somebody who qualifies is making a speech. It's usually the person that is evicted and makes a speech.
We should do more of that.
Friday on the 23rd.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you've picked Friday 23rd. What number?
Number 4.
Friday 23rd, number 4. That's Olusegun. You will go up against whoever is number 1 in that group. So it will be, you'll go up against one of the winners of their group. It could be Mulat. It could be Eno.
Oh,
it could.
I like that. I get that.
And guess it could be Nenye.
Which of the Nenye?
Well,
yeah, either of the Nenyes. And
yeah. I think I didn't prepare today.
And it could be Labake.
You don't talk to you prepared on air.
It could be Labake.
Yes,
on air.
Yes.
So it could also be Labake. Yeah.
Boss.
Okay.
You don't give this guy too much.
Let me say.
He said on air that not prepared.
Let me say he's saying it's
counterproductive.
Yeah. He's trying to say he
will
be better prepared. It's language. Well, yeah.
My God, look at the time.
Anyway, we gotta go. But just before we go, Dami, my friend and my brother, my Omoya.
A speech too.
Won't give speech.
Yeah. Your battle ends here.
Maybe I didn't love you quite the best ways I could find. And maybe I didn't treat you quite as good and sweet and kind. If I made you feel